The media is heavily represented. I can see you on your Park TV, Claire TV, UTV, Joy News, Channel 1 TV, Original TV, GH1 TV, Channel 24/7, as well as Adom TV, ORG, all represented. Yeah, thank you very much for honoring the invitation to cover this important press briefing. For the sake of emphasis, I would like to run you through all the media houses who are here so that Cashman Online, Evening Mail, Peace FM, Original TV, Channel 1 TV, Stone Media, Tito Dap Media, GH Brain, Ghana Trends, Gold Coast TV, Chris TV, Kantanka TV, Bullet TV, Atenka TV, FM and radio online, Sompa FM, Claire TV, Adom TV, Asempa FM, Digital TV. Am I seeing Angel? As I watch on Angie. Pink FM, Real Diamond, Daily Gist, Daily Searchlight, Channel 274 TV, Gossip 24 TV, Utek FM, Yonkopa FM, UTV Metro TV, Ghanaian Observer, Daily Watch TV, Hydra TV, Top TV, Next 2 TV, GH1, Oman FM, Star FM, Joy FM, Joy News, City FM, the new Crusading Guide, Kingdom FM, the 1957 News, the Custodian, TV Africa, MPP News. Please, one to within there. That's just how true. Metro is represented. I mentioned Metro. Metro is represented by Ekosaki and Derek Adoti. Yeah, yeah. I said that part.
Hey, what's that here?
TV3, if they are here, register because I can't see your name here. White pickup 6154. 13 registered. Please move the car.
Microphone.
2. Hello. 1, 2. Hello. Try 2. Sound 1, 2. Hello. 1, 2. Hello. Sound 1, 2.
Yeah. 2. Just the mic. Try 1, 2. Okay, media. One more.
kindly move back for me. Just the first 3 rows, so you can occupy from the 4th seat. Thank you. If the representatives are here, kindly take your seats. Security. Yes, sir. I'm going to go to the embassy. Yes, sir. I'm going to go to who have come together to ensure that we protect and save the judiciary from anybody, any human being born of a man who want to take the judiciary for granted and destroy the very foundation of our democracy in Ghana. I can see the second deputy chief whip of the mighty minority arriving. MP for Wejakbawi, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shai, has just arrived. I can see Honorable Ejapa Maisa also here. A lot of dignitaries arriving to address this important gathering. The mighty minority second deputy whip is here. Jerry Ahmed Shai, Honorable MP for Wejakbawi.
Bobby, everything good.
Auni. This selfless young man, MP for Wejakbawi, down to earth, very brave and dynamic. I can see seizing legal brains here. Lawyer from Davis is here. This press briefing is going to be one of its kind. Approach the gate. They all take their seat. I can see the dynamic national organizer, leader brain as well, lawyer Henry Nana Duarte, Nanabi.
Your name says.
can see the able national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Lord Henry Nana Boache, taking his seat. All the political parties are here to ensure they speak true to power and to protect the very democracy that we all have subscribed to since 1992. We cannot allow and sit unconcerned to see any particular person breaking the rules in this country. You can see from the first
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for this press engagement. I want to wish you a very happy Workers' Day today. We've called you primarily to engage you ahead of the planned demonstration by the political parties on Monday, May 5th, 2025. The idea for this press conference is clear. The country is not in agreement with the president in his decision to remove the Chief Justice, thereby undermining the independence of the judiciary, the process undermining and destroying our democracy, threatening the survival of this Fourth Republic. We have a series of engagements. All the political parties will come up here and give you their statements, why they are aligned with us to undertake this all-important demonstration, a signal to the President of the Republic that the political parties, the Ghanaian people, will not stand for him to destroy our democracy. And we believe that when you get this message today, because it borders on our democracy, you, the media, will take particular interest, because without democracy, there will be no media. Media will completely be silenced. Media will completely be out of play. Your existence depends on the survival of this democracy. And we think that you must take this personally and drive the agenda to stop the president from this incursion, the attempt to demolish our democracy. Diminution of our democracy shall not be tolerated, and you must lead in this conversation. Before we go into it, as I indicated, there'll be all the four political parties who come here and give their statements. We will appreciate your cooperation in that regard. Mostly because of time, they will not be able to do the three versions. So one after their statements, I'll come to just try and do the best to be able to summarize it for the three stations to be able to get their bites out of their presentation. Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Mr. Frank Davis, the chair of our party's Constitutional Legal Committee, who will be chairing this press engagement this afternoon, to give a brief opening remarks before we get into the statements.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press, both print and electronic. I must first of all apologize on behalf of national leadership for the late start of this media encounter. The advertised time was 13 hours prompt. So we sincerely apologize. The circumstances were such that we couldn't start as and when we should have. So we apologize profusely. The national organizer of the party, Nana Boachi, the deputy second chief whip of parliament, Jerry Ahmed Chai, MP, Weja, our own, still speaking, still strong, still energetic. I call him Bobo, former MP Osekunde. our illustrious Regional Secretary for Greater Accra, Odailai Paka France, the Regional Organizer for Greater Accra, Prince Obey, and of course, other national officers and regional officers gathered here. I believe that I need not go too much into the reason why we are here. Suffice it to say that there has been a systemic and determined attempt to assault the independence and integrity of the judiciary, the last bastion of our democracy. And Ghanaians would have to speak. There is nothing political about this. Nothing. Those who are going around full of insults, gratuitous calumny, vituperative expressions, abusive language, leave them. That is not the work of educated people. We have to analyze and think about what is going on. It needs deep thinking and not insults. We have to agree and agree to disagree. That is human nature. But it is the depth of your intellectual capacity which you reign supreme, not the cacophony of loud noises and insensible talk. We have to rise to the occasion as Ghanaians. It is not for nothing that the Trade Union Conference at the Labor Day this morning, in the presence of His Excellency the President, John Mahama, made a clarion call on him to look at the decision to suspend the Chief Justice. And I quote their language. They are deeply concerned. It is not me, it is them. And this was said right in his presence. So don't let anybody think that this is a political matter and that it is a two-horse race between the NPP and the NDC. So political actors will go and sit on radio and say whatever they like. It has to do with our judiciary. If this is how our judiciary is going to be played around with, like ping pong, I want to tell Ghanaians that there was a yesterday, there sure is a today, certainly there will be tomorrow. So let us always be guided by the incidents of history. I also have read on the GNA news portal that the former Chief Justice, a ladyship Sophia Akufu, who is an esteemed member of the Council of State, has also said that the processes unraveling the suspension and removal of a Chief Justice is unfair. And she has appealed to the 8-member Constitutional Review Committee set up by our President, John Mahama, to have a look at Article 146 and to amend that article in the Constitution so that the processes will be stringent. She has also advocated that even when or if any Chief Justice should suffer a removal from office upon stated grounds, the arbiter will not be the committee. If GNA peddled a blatant falsehood, then I am repeating an innocent one. But that is what GNA has put on the news portal. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crossroads. There is a siege on the judiciary, the third arm of government. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. They are supposed to have separate and distinct powers. Separation of powers, as we call it. Do we have to let the judiciary be harmed? No. Thank you very much. I'll call on my fellow colleagues to come and talk, and after we shall have a little dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Frank Davis. Give us a quick moment. We need to just shift our podium. Prince, can you give me a hand? I understand UTV, you're having challenges with your mic. Is it okay now? UTV is okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, Chairman Frank Davis, again, for that remarks that you've made. We're going to move on, honestly, with a call on our first political party to come and give their statement. I will call on the National Democratic Party flag bearer Alhaji Tripon to come and give the NDP's statement.
I wanna be a
Billionaire, boy.
On the future of our democracy. Since taking office, the NDC government has been acting in a manner not akin to the 1992 Constitution. The NDC is deluding itself into equating its supposed super parliamentary majority to a mandate to govern beyond the scope of Ghana's 1992 Constitution. On their campaign trail, His Excellency President Mahama openly declared to appoint NDC judges in the judiciary and other constitutionally mandated institutions, even before he won the 2024 election. Unfortunately, the President and NDC interpret his landslide victory as a license to trample on the 1992 Constitution. Contrary to the President's understanding, the people's super mandate should reinforce a commitment and belief in constitutional principles, in safeguarding state institutions against all forms of discrimination and ensuring livelihoods. The President's action to suspend the Chief Justice is thus fulfilling his premeditated political malice, which must not be countenanced by all well-meaning Ghanaians. The present despicable political act is a prelude to many more unspeakable malices in violations of the democratic principles espoused in our Constitution. Therefore,
I wanna be a
long live
NDP, long live the Fourth Republic, long live Ghana. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Party, for that message. Was suspended to Chief Justice. Ghana, Yankee, was suspended to Chief Justice. Ghana, Yankee, they are all they are the democracy, Ghana, also, and also, you know, Montias and say, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, NDC for Munjai, say, Omotu Yesi, Judiciary, with the view, say, on me undermine the Judiciary. Before I call the next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the minority leader of the New Patriotic Party, the mighty minority leader, Osahini Alexander Apenyo Markins, who will join us. We are very happy for his presence here. His leadership has given us a very strong presence in Parliament, and Ghanaians are appreciating what efforts they are doing to defend the larger interests of our democracy and our economy and our country at large. We appreciate them for that hard work they are doing. If you can give them a round of applause, I appreciate it. I'll be doing the introductions as we go, but now let me call on the PNP, Madame Janet Nabila, to come and give the PNP's message. The media, as I was saying earlier, this is an important engagement, and the message here we expect that you carry it forward. Put your own understandings to it, put your own existence. Bet your own existence on what we're doing, because the absence of a strong judiciary exposes our rights to a strong president who would end up accumulating power at the executive and will abuse all of us, all of our rights, and undermine the power of judicial review. So please, this is not an MPP and other political parties matter. This is Ghana matter, and we expect that you participate strongly. Thank you very much, Madam Janet Nabila.
Good morning. I'm happy that the Communication Secretary of the NPP is emphasizing that this is not a demonstration for the NPP or political parties. It is a demonstration for Ghana. Members of the press, fellow Ghanaians, women and youth, and patriotic citizens across the length and breadth of this country. The People's National Party wishes to inform the public of our full participation in the 5th demonstration, a national call to duty, not just for political parties, but for every Ghanaian who believes in justice, democracy, and the rule of law. This is not a partisan demonstration. It is a people's demonstration, and the PNP cannot sit on the fence while President Mahama and the NDC attempt to hijack and destroy the institution of hope left for Ghana, the judiciary. President Mahama has already taken control of the executive and parliament. Now he is determined to seize the judiciary, as he promised a group of NDC lawyers during his campaign. He is appointing Supreme Court judges not to serve justice, but to carry out his party's agenda. Already, he has appointed 7 Supreme Court judges without a national demand or constitutional justification, only to balance out appointments made by former President Nana Addo. This is not balance, it is blatant politicization of justice. Worse still, President Mahama has acted with reckless disregard for due process when a petition was filed against the Chief Justice, he refused to follow the legal process and bypassed natural justice by rushing the matter to the Council of State. When a court injunction was filed, he disrespected the authority of the court and went ahead to suspend the Chief Justice. This is a president who believes he is above the law. To make matters even more disturbing, this same president has shown utter disregard for women in governance. Despite Parliament passing the Affirmative Action Bill to ensure 30% representation of women, President Mahama has refused to implement it. Instead, he has given a mere 10% of cabinet positions, 16% of ministerial roles, and 14% of deputy ministerial appointments to women. And now even the few women in leadership roles are being illegally removed by his government through unconstitutional and predetermined actions. The People's National Party says enough is enough. We are calling on Ghanaians. We are calling on all Ghanaians, especially women of Ghana, to rise and be heard. We call on women across political divides, including. Okay, so we call on women we call on all Ghanaians, especially women of Ghana, to rise and be heard. We call on women across political divides, especially courageous women within the NDC, to stand up against this tyranny and injustice. The fifth demonstration is not for one party. It is for every Ghanaian who still believes in the rule of law, in equality, and a future that belongs to all, not just for the privileged few. President Mahama must know Ghana is not his private property. The judiciary does not belong to the NDC, and the women of Ghana will not be silenced anymore. Join us, rise with us. Let our voices tender through the streets of Main Street. Let Mahama hear our loud and clear, hear us loud and clear that Ghana belongs to the people, not to a political party. So, thank you so much.
Where do you?
KB.
Thank you very much, Madam Janet.
Because I said one charge.
Thank you very much, Madam Janet Nabla of the PNP. Next, we'll move to the Liberal Party of Ghana. We have Mr. Jerry Apau to represent the party. So Jerry Apau is the General Secretary of the Liberal Party of Ghana.
Thank you. Good afternoon. LPG firmly reject the ongoing attempt by the NDC administration to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. We believe this move is unjustified, politically motivated, and harmful to the independence of our judiciary. There is no credible evidence of wrongdoing to warrant her removal, and the process appeared to be a calculated and a political retribution. an agenda signaled during the 2024 campaign by the former president then himself of particular concern is the appointment of Justice Gabriel Scott Pomai as chair of the investigative committee. His prior involvement in the related case of Daniel Ofori versus the EcoBank compromises his neutrality and casts a shadow over the credibility of this process. We acknowledge the other members of the committee, but insist that the chair must be beyond reproach. There are many qualified justices who can lead this probe impartially. We therefore call on the President, John Dramani Mahama, to immediately replace Justice Scott Pomai. This is not politics. It is about safeguarding Ghana's beautiful democracy and upholding the rule of law. Let us defend our judiciary from partisan interference. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liberal Party of Ghana, for that strong message. We now move to the almighty New Patriotic Party, whose speech will be delivered by its national organizer, Henry Nana Boakye.
Thank you very much, Richard. I will stand on the existing protocol. Over the past few weeks, President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government have intensified their relentless crusade against the independence of Ghana's judiciary. An assault that has now culminated into a dangerous and unconstitutional move: the suspension and planned removal of Chief Justice of the Republic, Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Iraba Isaba Saki Tokuno, by none other than Mr. Mahama himself. The NPP profoundly disapproves and vehemently condemns this blatant disregard for constitutional order, judicial sanctity, and democratic norms. This action, taken under the pretext of Article 146 of the 1982 Constitution, constitutes a grave threat to judicial independence, a reckless abuse of executive discretion, and an affront to the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we consider this suspension not only unconstitutional, but procedurally flawed, but also politically motivated and executed with alarming disregard for the sanctity of due process. Additionally, Article 146 clearly stipulates that the President has no direct authority to suspend or remove the sitting Justice of
the Superior Court, including the Chief Justice, without recourse to an independent investigative mechanism. In such matters, the President is merely a transmitting agent, not a judge, prosecutor, a decision maker. Therefore, his suspension of the Chief of Staff is ultra-virus, unconstitutional, and must be rescinded without any delay. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the MPP also wishes to highlight a glaring ethical impropriety. This is very important, and my colleague mentioned it, and I'm going to re-emphasize it as well. In the composition of the 5-member committee tasked with the mandate to investigate the Chief Justice, the appointment of Justice Puaman as a chair is inappropriate. Justice Puaman, having authored a Supreme Court ruling directly connecting to the petition against the Chief Justice, cannot be deemed to be an impartial adjudicator on this matter. His involvement erodes public interest and represents conflict of interest. The refusal to recuse himself, despite the availability of other qualified justices of the Supreme Court, suggests a deliberate manipulation of the process to secure a determination that is already preconceived. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the MPP wishes to express concern over a deeply troubling and undemocratic posture adopted by the President towards Ghana's judiciary, which reflects a dangerous mindset and a diabolical agenda to manipulate the courts for political expediency. Addressing the closing ceremony of the 3rd Annual Lawyers Conference of the NDC in Akosombo, the then former president, who was then the NDC flag bearer, made troubling statement that revealed his intentions to pack the courts with politically aligned judges should he return to power. In his own words, he said, currently the judiciary is filled with judges who are favorable to the MPP because this government has deliberately appointed supporters to the bench. These statements confirm a thoughtful and a deliberate plan by Mr. Mahama and the NDC to transform Ghana's independent judiciary into a partisan tool favoring their political fortunes. This betrayal of the democratic principles of separation of powers and an insult to the professionalism and competence of our judges who have sworn oath to uphold justice without fear or favor. With current happenings, Ghanaians must take these pronouncements seriously. At the time, the former president and presidential candidate, Mr. Mahama, openly advocated for political infiltration of the judiciary, which poses a grave threat to our constitutional democracy. Mr. Mahama's comments do not promote judicial reform or independence. They reveal a calculated intent to corrupt the judicial process for political gains. The peace, stability, and rule of law we enjoy as a nation must not be sacrificed on the altar of political manipulation. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we echo the legitimate concerns raised by the Ghana Bar Association and other political parties gathered here, such as the LPG, the NDP, and the PMP. The GBA bold's resolution at its mid-year conference condemning the suspension and threatening legal action reinforces the seriousness of this constitutional crisis. Their stance affirms what many already know. The president's action is neither rooted in law nor the spirit of democratic principles. We caution that today, if Chief Justice Tokuno, tomorrow it could be any judge who dares to exercise independent judgment. This orchestrated assault on the judiciary threatens to dismantle the very institutional safeguards that preserve our democracy. Ghana cannot and must not descend into the state where political expediency overrides constitutional order. The MPP therefore demands the following: the immediate and unconditional reversal of Chief Justice Tokuno's suspension, full compliance with Article 146 and 296 in all future disciplinary proceedings involving justices of the Supreme Court. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the New Patriotic Party stands firm and unwavering in defense of Ghana's judiciary and the constitutional principles that uphold our democracy. The suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Eraba Esaba Saki Tokuno is not an isolated mistake. It is the most apparent manifestation yet of President Mahama and the NDC government. Grants designed to politicize, infiltrate, and ultimately capture judiciary for partisan control. This must not and will not stand. The 1982 Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is not subject to the whims of any president, past, present, or future. Justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. We are witnessing the unfolding of a dangerous script authored by President John Dramani Mahama, showing no regard for judicial independence, due process, or constitutional constraints. Mr. Mohammed's words have betrayed his diabolical intent, and recent actions only confirms what we have long feared: a calculated effort to dismantle the separation of powers and turn our courts into political tool. But Ghana's democracy is stronger than anyone's ambition. The Chief Justice is the final bulwark between liberty and tyranny, and her unlawful removal signals a red line that must not be crossed. Ladies and gentlemen, we must therefore reiterate our call for the immediate reinstatement of the Chief Justice and the withdrawal of his unconstitutional action. The future of our republic, the confidence of our people in the judiciary, and the very soul of our democracy depends on this. Let it be known that the New Patriotic Party will fiercely and relentlessly resist any attempt to hijack our judicial system for any political gain. We urge Ghanaians across all divides to speak out and defend our constitution. We urge everyone to be part of this historic demonstration on Monday, 5th May. We will gather just opposite the Supreme Court. We will present the first petition at the Supreme Court. We will proceed to Parliament House, where we will present the second petition. And then we will proceed to the Jubilee House to present the final petition. We must all be part of this effort. There is this sinister motive by Mr. Mahama to pack the judiciary, to seek a judicial interpretation of the Constitution, which will interpret Article 62 so that he intends to go a third term. This agenda, inshallah, shall fail. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, for that very strong and clear message to the executive that we will not accept their deliberate and premeditated attempt to undermine the judiciary of our country. the last hope, the defense of our rights, the protector of the minority. If they are undermined, if they are affected in a manner the NDC is calculating to do, your rights, my rights, would have vanished under this democracy. And we will resist that. And that's the invitation for you to all to join us on 5th May at the park opposite the Supreme Court for a demonstration that would signal to the executive that our democracy matters more than anyone's politics. It matters more than any individual's political ambition. We are determined to let the government understand that the very democracy that brought them to office, they must ensure they protect it and keep it safe for our posterity. Thank you very much, Erin and Abuachi, for that strong message. It is time now to invite